Yo! Today I'm bringing you a little bit more in-depth brief guide on where to find some of these hard to acquire items to upgrade your lodge to progress your account into resource overload. Not too much here, we're just going to get right into it, boys, so stick around and let's learn where these items are. So first thing that you're going to want to do is to obviously find out which items you need. We're going to go into the lodge up here. Once you've completed your tutorial, it's going to give you a little bit of gold, and you're going to want to use that gold to unlock these important lodges so that you can start building the account. You're going to want to unlock your fireplace and your cooking pot as fast as possible, your storage chest, your crafting bench, your forge, your loom, and your tanner. So I'm going to go in depth on these after level 1 so that you can see, starting at level 1, I'm sorry, so you can see what items are required to progress these. Alright, so on the screen right now, you're going to see just almost every of the crafting options of level 1 and level 2 of each thing. And these are the items that I'm going to be covering throughout this video. So pause here if you want to see them a little bit more in depth, or just follow along in your own lodge. We'll get to it. But I wanted to make it a point to show you something that's very important about this process. There is a trader in the city that's going to help you a lot here, and it's going to be the treasurer. So when you go to the treasurer, he's going to sell glint dust for glint, and I'll show you guys a little bit how to get some glint during this video as well. But you're going to want a lot of glint. You're going to need a lot of glint. So he is very important for selling you this glint dust, as well as once you level him up, which should be relatively easy since you're buying all this glint dust from him, he gives you barter options. So all of these specific looms, lodges require these quest items is what I call them. And each one of them is actually craftable into another one. So for instance, if you need storehouse plans, it takes an infernal ledger and glint dust. If you need an infernal ledger, it takes an iron gear and glint dust. So you can actually cycle through every single one of these to get the specific quest item that you need to unlock the lodge specifically that you're targeting. So all of these quest items are going to be very important. They all spawn in the same spots, and I will show you where those are obviously in the coming videos, but unlocking your treasure to a higher level so that you can do these barters is important. I believe this is either level 2 or level 3, but it won't be very difficult to level as long as you're coming in and buying all of this glint dust, I assure you. You will also unlock a barter for these big ticket items that are really the chases, the ones that are extremely hard to find. We'll go further in on how to get these ones as well. But with the Master Hammer, you're actually able to craft and barter one using 3 artisan toolkits, iron gears, and leather cutters. So you can actually, it's more of a pity system, but you can collect those, turn them into a Master Hammer. And for a Fire Bellow, 3 Master Hammers, 1 Glint Dust, Goblin Cauldron, 3 Master Hammers, 10 Seasoned Wolf Haunch, and for the Anvil, 3 Master Hammers and 1 Ledger. As I mentioned, getting glint in the game is going to be one of the most important things to upgrade your treasure so that you can barter the items. If you've already been in a couple raids, you probably have some things that are worth treasure and glint that you didn't know about. So first thing is, if you go to your treasurer and you go to the sell option, there's a sell all treasures button down here. Your inventory is probably a disaster because that's just the nature of how this game works. If you hit the sell all treasures button, it'll populate with everything that is exclusively used for treasure. And then you just hit the sell button and now you have extra glint. All right, one of the most important things when you're going to go farming for glint is there's a guaranteed way to get it if you die even. And one of that way is if you do, I believe it's your second quest in your campaign. If you follow this campaign path, it's going to give you what's called a treasure pouch. And what the treasure pouch does is it's a 3x2 that lets you hold treasures. So this will let you hold glint items. This will let you hold gold. That way, even if you die, you're still making micro progressions into your account. So if you're trying to get as much glint as you can to level up the trader, I highly recommend using that hunter pouch right off the beginning. And you're able to guarantee the gains on the glint every single raid. All right, as I mentioned, one of the things that you're going to need a lot of in order to upgrade and barter with the treasurer is glint. Glint is in a lot of different places on the map. For instance, if you go into a lot of these crypts or any place in a dungeon that has a down, if you run around, a lot of times if you look on the ground, like right here, you have an item that you're able to pick up. This was a gold vase, which gives me 175 glint. This is not the only reason why these little crypts in the map are also good. Like if I look inside of this wardrobe, you'll see I have another nail. There's a lot of good items that are down here, and as well, you have shelves. So an opportunity for more things to spawn on these shelves. You're going to see a really good mix of where all these things are throughout the video. But shelves, crypts, mobs, the whole nine. Alright, so one of the best places to find loot in these like little caverns and underground dungeons that you can go into. Once you come down in here, you're going to see a lot of these shelves. As I mentioned multiple times throughout the video, shelves are a great place to find a bunch of these items. Down here, it looks like it's only got food on it, and that's okay. But there's also things down here like barrels, and as you've seen throughout the video, or will see throughout the video, barrels is another great place to find a bunch of items to loot that will be useful for you for upgrading your lodge. And these little chests here that you find, these ones mostly contain glint items, which again, glint is an amazing resource to help you upgrade your treasurer so that you can do these barters. The items on the list of lodge upgrades are craftable and buyable. We're going to go over those real quick. First, we'll start with the buyable ones. So the buyable items that you'll be able to get just before you even go and do a raid, if you have a little bit of gold, is your armor will sell you an unlimited amount of charcoal, which you need quite a bit of while upgrading your lodge, obviously. It's unlimited supply. Buy as many as you want. It'll never run out. That's an easy one. The other one is frog oil. Same thing. Infinite stock. It'll never run out. You can just buy it forever. And then the last one on this list that should be buyable is your glint. Obviously, there's a whole glint section on the video that you can go see how to get glint, but glint dust is a buyable. Some of these things you can also find in raid. I'll touch on that too a little bit, but mostly you just want to buy these things. It'll just be easier for you in the long run. All right, and the next one that you have are going to be your craftables. If you are following any of my guides from the last video, I mentioned that your crafting bench is one of the first things that you want to upgrade to really get your account started. And the reason is because some of these items on this lodge are able to be crafted. If you haven't seen that video, here's a link to it now. Go take a look at that as well, and it'll help you with a lot of some of this other stuff. But back to the craftables. If you go to your crafting bench and you go to craft, the things that you're going to be able to craft in here are iron nails and wood saws. Even though you need a wood saw to get your crafting bench initially, you can still find wood saws in raid, but if you ever need a wood saw after that, you're able to just craft it from here using iron bars, oak hammer, and bone hammers. And then iron bars require bone hammers and iron nails require iron bars and bone hammers. And I will show you many places where you can find bone hammers as well in the video. All right, real quick, doubling back to the craftables before we move on. There is one other that is craftable, but also you find so many of them when you're in the raid. It slipped my mind. If you go to your tailorer and you go to her crafting option, even from level 1, one of the options is simple rope. So she's also a really good way to get simple rope. All it takes is 3 linen cloth. It's not too hard, but like I said, as you'll see throughout the video, there's a lot of places you can find rope other than crafting it. Mentioned with the treasurer, you're going to want a lot of these what I called quest items. Quest items are found in various different places. As you can see here, I'm in some random hole in the map, and over here by this barrel, here is a book. This is an Infernal Ledger. The Infernal Ledger is a quest item. You can turn this Infernal Ledger with enough glint into any of the other quest items, so that should be a relatively easy start for those quest items. And here we have ourselves a barrel that also happened to have iron nails in it. Places to find most items that you're looking for to upgrade your lodge is going to be on shelves. Any place that has a shelf that looks like this is going to hold a lot of items. For instance, on this shelf here, we have an iron gear. That iron gear, as I mentioned before, can be turned into all of the other quest items that you're looking for through the barter process on the treasurer. But check all of your shelves. On the riverbed here, there's a lot of places that I mentioned that have a bunch of different items that spawn. For instance, underneath that bridge has a chance of spawning some really good items. And as you're running along, you're also going to find some... No way, dude. That's a Master Hammer, bro! There you go. This is a spawn for a Master Hammer. There's also one underneath that bridge. There's a ton of different places that you can find these items. I'm just going to go over and show you, obviously, more of them as we go along. But there you go. There's a Master Hammer for you guys. They spawn in any spawn that's also a quest item spot. It's still considered a quest item. So if you see any of those quest items anywhere, there's always an opportunity and a chance for that to have spawned a cauldron, an anvil, a fire bellow, or a Master Hammer. Good luck. They're a little bit rare, but like I said, if you can't find them, there's always the good fortune of just collecting a bunch of quest items and building up into it. Alright guys, I wanted to thank you again for watching the video. If you made it this far, I will be giving away this Master Hammer that we just found away to one of you. All you have to do, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and leave a comment that says, "Gib Hammer Please." And I will select one of you guys on Monday to receive this fantastic rare item. A really popular spot that I look for when I'm looking for quest items is on the map right here by the Wolf's Den. A little bit north of it, you'll see this broken down carriage here. This carriage has a lot of things that spawn on it. You have a flower over here, sometimes keys spawn there. You have ore that spawns here. You'll have a bandage that can spawn here. You can have some gems that spawn here, but the real big ticket is right here. I find most, if not all, of my quest items every season when I play right here. I've gotten goblin cauldrons, master hammers, anvils, every imaginable quest item you can think of, I've gotten in this exact spot. So even though I didn't find one this raid, I'll include if I find any throughout this video, but this spot is very necessary if you're looking for these quest items because it is so commonly found here. You'll see a repeating theme. This is one of my favorite places to check for these items. It is right here next to Seraph's Rest, above the woodland huts, on this bridge, by that bridge. That is a spawn for items over here, and this is a spawn for quest items here. This is one of my favorite places to do this. You will get them almost every other raid at least. As I mentioned before, one of the most popular spots to find items under that bridge. And over here you'll see, right here, you have another quest item. This is a leather cutter. We did see a priest over here. Let's go be a nice guy and see if we can give him a leather. Alright, so one of the best places that I've found to find a lot of these items, as I've mentioned before, is on the shelves. And a lot of these goblin houses have a bunch of shelves in them. So if you run over and you see these shelves, here's a bunch of loot on these shelves. Right here, you'll see we have some more iron nails. And on the inside, there's more shelves. Looking around on these shelves is important, but also sometimes even on boxes. So as you can see right here, that is a rope. So there's another spawn for ropes here. And even up top, there's another barrel that you can look for more loot. Alright, and we're back at the good old reliable goblin houses, and on the side of these houses there is a lot of shelves, and as you can see here, it looks like we have ourselves another iron gear. Alright. One of my favorite places to look for items when I'm starting in a season is the goblin huts, which are right here on the west side of the map. All of this is farmland, and you have all of these houses. All of these houses have a bunch of loot scattered around them, as well as inside of them they have a ton of different shelves. And as I've mentioned before, shelves are really good. As you can see here, we got some tree resin, and we got some iron nails. So tree resin is one of the things, obviously, that you need. This is a really good place to find a lot of tree resin. A really good way to get tree resin is obviously by cutting down trees. If you come to the back of the cemetery here, right next to the crypt key, this is called the garden. This has a bunch of trees that spawn in it every time. You just come up here and you start chopping some trees, and eventually you will find yourself some nice tree resin as well. Alright, so the last way that you can get tree resin is by, in your fireplace, just cooking wood in general will give you a bunch of charcoal, ash, tree resin, and other resources, even iron nails. So make sure that you're constantly burning things in here. This is kind of a little bit of an overlap with the tree resin and the ash. It's a little bit less common in both of those ways, but you can still end up getting it here just passively by making sure that your fireplace is always on. All right, so if you guys have been mining some trees, then you know already that it is sometimes hard to get the tree resin that you need. Don't forget to check your shelves. Shelves carry tree resin as well. This is what, again, tree resin looks like. Just like a yellow blob. Grab it, and there's some tree resin for you. All right, so 3 of these items on the list are only acquirable through crypts. Well, 2 of them are only acquirable through crypts, and 1 of them is very common on crypts and rare everywhere else. There's a lot of shelves in the crypts, so you can still get a lot of these other items as well. But I'm going to run through here and show you guys where some of the items that you'll need, which is the Crypt Stone as well as the Grave Marrow. So I'll see you guys when we have that. All right, so one of the hardest items for people to get right now is ash. And these eyeball guys, there's 3 levels of them. You have the entry level, you have the medium level, and then you have the elite level, which is the massive one. These guys, when you kill them, have an extremely high chance of dropping ash. So you can get ash from your furnace, or if you come and kill a bunch of these guys, they will drop ash almost every time. So definitely, if you need ash, come in here, run around and kill all of these eyeball guys. Kill them and I'll show you that this guy also is going to drop me ash. It's a very common resource on the Crypt. Crypt's a very difficult map, but it's worth going into for a lot of these things. Especially when you get to the higher levels on your benches. All right, another eye down. 2 ash received. And a green priest chest. All right, so as you're running around, you're going to see a lot of different items on the ground here. One of them, here we go, is going to be Grave Marrow root, and the other is going to be a Crypt Stone. Now, if you look at the Crypt Stone on the ground, without your light, it'll have a blue light, like a lightning bolt on there that you can see. Here's another one. They're just lying around on the ground with the light, without the light. So if you see that little lightning bolt, pick that up. You're going to need it. All right, so the last one on the list for crypts is the Grave Marrow, which you do kind of need your lantern for. As you can see, without it, kind of blends in pretty good. With it, you can see it pretty good. This is the only place that you could get them. It's on the ground. It takes 3 slots for you. And there's your Grave Marrow root. It spawns in just random places all over this map. You just kind of have to have your eyes peeled for them. Crypts is another really good place that you can find a lot of these items. It has a bunch of shelves on it, so you can get a lot of quest items on them. And, oh, here we go. Here's a wood saw. So if you're looking for wood saws, shelves are a very good place to find them. But as I mentioned before, you can also craft them. All right, so outside of just shelves, there are other spots in the game that will provide you with common loot, as we've seen that rope on top of the box, and as well as here is another wood saw. And as you know, you only need 1 wood saw to upgrade your crafting bench. And once you have that, you can just craft these wood saws. But don't forget to look on top of boxes that you can't break. Those have a opportunity to spawn some common loot drops as well, like awls as well as bone hammers. If you're roaming around the map, you're going to see on these trees a lot of times these hanging bags. If you listen carefully, you can actually hear them. That slight little swing is an indication that they're around you. Every class should be able to have some way of breaking them. Just shoot the arrow, open them up, and here we go. Here's one of the items, a rope. So a rope is used to upgrade some things. Check all of these. This will also be a place that you can get like buckles and stuff. I'll find a buckle and show you guys that as well. Make sure when you're looking for these items, you're always checking the hanging trees. All right, so I just took down another swinging rope here, as you can tell. It has these bags. When you open these bags up, another rope. These swinging ropes from trees are some of the best ways to get rope in the game outside of crafting it. So It's very passive, very easy to get these. Constantly knock them down. You'll get a ton of rope. Alright, and then in a barrel, we have found some rope as well. So another spawn for rope inside of our barrels. Every skeleton that you kill in the game will drop these weird piles of bones. Loot these pile of bones for some items. One of the major items that you're going to get off of these skeletons is bone hammers. You guys have mentioned me say a lot of times that under this bridge is a really good spot to find a lot of these items. Under here this time we have an apple, but really importantly we have a bone hammer. So not only can you get these on skeletons, you can also find these in some of the quest spot locations like under this bridge. Common theme, these little crypts that lead down into the stairs, as I've mentioned before, have a lot of different chests as well as a lot of different shelves that hold a lot of these different items. So if we come down here, there's some more chests. Not much in there. In the armory, we have a simple buckle. Simple buckles are one of the harder items to get, and they actually spawn in probably the most places. Alright, so just running around here and in this chest, like every other chest in the game, there is also a chance of a simple buckle. As I mentioned, they are very widespread. You can get them in a lot of different places. They're just a little uncommon. Here's another example of where you can get them from. And that's going to about sum it all up for all the items that you're going to need to upgrade your lodge. Just one more reminder, keep in mind, any place that can really spawn a common item, such as a rope or a wood saw, can also spawn all of the other common items. If this video helped you at all and you liked this video, I would really appreciate it if you could give me a like and a subscribe. It does take a lot of time to do these videos. I love making them for you and I love that it helps you, but it really helps me when you give me that feedback and things that you would like to see in a future video, or as well coming to my Twitch and watching me there. My Twitch is in the link in the description, as well as all of my characters' names. If you see me in game, say hi. I really appreciate you guys watching this video. Send it to your friends if they still need to find something on this list. I'm sure if it helps you, it'll help them too. Appreciate it, guys. Have a good one, okay?